Let's take a closer look at the HK-87 Black Series figure from The Mandalorian.
Varykino, living the Star Wars life.
Hello there, and thanks for visiting the Varykino YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a new addition to our collection, the HK-87 6-inch Black Series figure from The Mandalorian. This is a fun design that was featured in the episode with the Magistrate, with these sort of cool guard droids that are a sort of a descendant of the original sort of HK-47 droid from Knights of the Old Republic, with this sort of fabric component here and a slightly sort of helmeted shape to the face. I really do wish that we had a classic HK-47 Black Series droid. Hopefully that will show up in a Gaming Greats line fairly soon, but nevertheless, I am very excited that we have this one. I think they are a fun, cool design, and of course that was a pretty cool episode of The Mandalorian, and we want to flesh out our Black Series collection with all the characters and droids from that show. So before I take a look inside, we'll just check out the packaging. This is of course part of Hasbro's plastic-free packaging, which means we can't see the figure inside. To be honest, this is a very light box, a little lighter than I was expecting, so I'm kind of keen to see what's inside. We've got that matte black finish there with a gloss picture of the figure. And we have the orange stripe for the Mandalorian show and the name there. We have some very cool art down the side. We've got a picture of the figure on the back and a little bit of a bio here. Based on an antiquated assassin droid design, a pair of HK droids serve as bodyguards for the Magistrate Morgan Elsbeth on the world of Corvus. So of course it says a pair, so Hasbro's trying to get you to buy two of them already. But yeah, some of these droids do look cool when you get batches of them. We've got a picture of the figure there with a bit of a scale, 6 inches in height or 15.2 centimeters. Plastic-free packaging note there. So pretty standard, but yeah, I'm glad that there is some cool fun out there if you want to keep your box on your shelf alongside the other ones. So let's get stuck in and open it up. I'm going to just snip the sellotape on the underside here, and I'm expecting there to be a cardboard tray with the figure wrapped in tissue paper, which seems to be the norm for this plastic-free packaging line. So let's get in here. I'll take a look. So there we have a figure, and we have a weapon wrapped up in tissue paper here. So I'm just going to use my scissors. I find it's just a little easier just to snip this cardboard that's keeping it sealed in there. There we go. Okay, and then we have the Black Series tissue paper. And we can get our first in-hand look at this droid. So I'm going to put all this packaging off to the side so I've got a clear desk here. There we go. And I've got the box there. And we've got the little weapon to take a look at. So of course, because they're all wrapped up, his legs are pretty close together there. But I'm just going to take a quick little look at the design of this droid now that I've got it in hand. So this is pretty cool. I wasn't quite sure what to make of the sort of cloth component based on the artwork there on the box, but this looks pretty cool. Let's see. So it's got the cool sort of helmeted face. This kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the, I think it's the Pike Syndicate helmets. It looks very different to the original HK-47 droid. It has more of a helmet appearance to it, though these are assassin droids. So, and then we've got sort of a classic droid body. I think the legs in particular are a little bit more closer to the sort of original HK design, and then we've got this sort of interesting cloth robe that's sort of over half of the droid, and this kind of woven sort of straps that are sort of holding that on, which is kind of interesting. Very unique piece there. Just going to pop him down, and we're going to take a look at the weapon in this little paper bag that we're going to rip open. And then we have the blaster. The barrel here kind of reminds me of the battle droid blaster. But yeah, this feels like a unique piece. I don't think I've seen this on another Black Series before. It's quite cool. It's quite thin. Doesn't have a lot of width to it. It's quite flat almost. But yeah, it does the job. Just an all-over sort of gunmetal dark grey paint job there. So now let's have a look at this droid's articulation. We've got some pretty cool paint job there. Not too complicated. I don't see any kind of battle weathering on this. It's just basically cast, I think, in the sort of plastic colors we see here, with perhaps a little bit of paint app on this arm. We have silver details at the joins, and we've got a gold buckle detail here as well. So yeah, not a complicated paint job, which I guess is a good thing, because with these blind boxes, you don't get to inspect the paint job prior to purchasing. I guess the main thing is that belt buckle and the silver details there. They're almost like Tusken Raider tusks there on that sort of headpiece there. So all in all, looks pretty tidy. Nothing looks too bent out of shape. He does kind of want to put his legs together really narrowly, but I get the feeling that's not how he is going to stand up. So we're going to have to play with the posing and articulation. So we've got pretty good movement here at the head. He sort of spins around quite freely there. I can get him all the way around. We've got some interesting movement here at the shoulder. This sort of wheel part is moving around as I move that. That makes me worried. I'm sure it's supposed to do that. But yeah, that makes me worried when I go to move my figure and it's kind of moving in a way that I'm not used to. So he doesn't, let's see, this shoulder bell is stopping his arm from going up. This is soft and squishy. I can sort of lift it off here and we can see the sort of classic shoulder joint. So I think it can go up, but you can see I'm kind of deforming it a little. So he can lift his arm up, but kind of not fond of doing that. But we've got the classic sort of rotational, you know, pointer blaster out like that. I've got standard elbow joint, nice and easy. I do like the way droid joins always, you know, it's pretty easy to have the joins because they exist there. They always look a little bit tidier than with the sort of humanoid characters. And we've got, you know, sort of standard movements here with the hand, which is in a sort of a blaster holding grip there. So I assume, I'm just going to pull this back a little bit, we have the same shoulder on this side, which is made out of the same plastic. That joint in there is the same, but it's hidden by this sort of half cloak. So it's going to have the same sort of range of motion, but the joins are just a bit hidden in there. I'm just going to fix that up. I've just kind of wrinkled his cape a bit there in the back. So yeah, it looks a little odd when you stick his arm out there because we can see that this is sort of a toy scale fabric. I think it looks a little bit better when you crease it with his arm down by the side. So I'm probably going to pose him with, you know, this one being the one to hold the blaster and this one kind of doing a little bit more of a minimal lower. But yeah, we can see if I pull the sleeve up, we've got the same sort of joints here. So we can do something interesting with his arm up, and then we can pose that sleeve and it looks pretty good really. So we've got articulation at that upper torso, but with this sort of bandolier and the cloth, I'm not inclined to sort of do a lot of rotation there. We have, let's see, I don't know that it really wants to move at the waist. Not really. I can't see, I don't think it's moving at the waist. Yeah, I don't think it's moving at the waist. But of course we've got standard kind of posing with the legs at the hips. No upper thigh seam here. Some of the figures you can sort of rotate them at that upper thigh. It's straight there. Good, nice and tight at the knees. I like that. And a little bit of movement here at the ankles. Not a huge range of motion. Enough to get a good balance. And there is sort of a sculpting line here on the toe, but that is just a solid piece. That's just part of the design. That isn't an articulated join there. So that doesn't move. So same sort of stuff on the other side. And we can see the sculpting of the legs there on the back. Pretty clean and tidy. Looks pretty good. I like this fabric component. It's got like a painted stripe that ties in with the color scheme, which looks very cool. So I'm going to see how well he's going to stand up here, because his legs kind of want to go together. And I'm just going to pivot him around a little bit. We'll see how well I can get him to stand. So yeah, he's not too bad. A little bit of just sort of fiddling there to get him in the right sort of balanced spot. Just going to see how well he's going to hold this blaster. It looks pretty flat. I'm hoping this won't be too much of a wrestle to get this in here. He's always a little bit tricky. Because their hands are, I find the Black Series figures have quite stiff fingers, and the wrists bend a lot. So I might just take a moment to pop this blaster in, because I feel like I need to do this carefully so I don't put too much strain on that wrist there. So with a little bit of wrestling, he does hold his blaster pretty well. I've got to say, compared to some of the recent Black Series I have unboxed, trying to get them to hold their blasters, it's a little bit of a wrestle to get it in there because his hand is just so sort of made out of hard plastic. But you can see there the hand grip does look pretty natural and quite well scaled to that blaster. I'm really quite happy with that. So, you know, we can do some interesting poses there with his blaster. I think this is really cool. You know, I know he's not a major character or anything like that, but I think it was a notable episode, and I think this is a really good version of it. We've got, you know, all the articulation we come to expect from a Black Series figure. Despite the thin legs, once you get him into a good pose, he does stand up pretty well, you know, even with the sort of small ankles and a little bit of a heavier body. And I really like this this sort of wire cable type bandolier that's holding that sort of cloak on. I think that that's really quite nice. The edges of the fabric look quite tidy. Sometimes with certain fabrics, they feel like they're going to fray and just look messy. This one looks pretty good. Because one of the things, like it says on the box, you know, a pair of them. There are some droids, some background characters you kind of want to army build. But with these blind boxes, I think I really wanted to see whether I liked this figure, whether it was going to be worthwhile buying more than one of it. But I think this one is, I can just imagine having a second one here. I think that this will be quite a good addition to our Mandalorian Black Series display. He holds his blaster really well, and I just really like all the detail. There's nothing to really go terribly wrong with the paint job. Very sort of minimal spots like the belt and the face. And those are not too complicated, a single color, nice and tidy there. And the silver on those sort of droid joins there. Just all in all, you know, about as I expected, but I think it's very well done. So I'll put a couple of pictures in here just to show some of those details closer up. But let me know in the comments down below if you will be picking this one up, especially since it looks like these HK droids are gonna make an appearance in Ahsoka. I was definitely keen to pick one up for our collection. So there we are, the HK-87 Black Series droid. I think this one is really cool. So thank you so much for watching. Do check out our other videos for more Star Wars unboxings and adventures. Catch you in the next video, and as always, may the Force be with you.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, check out our other videos, and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.